Yeah, you ever listen to those words in those songs? We're in the year 2019. All those things have already come true. Yeah, we're live. So, welcome everyone. Blessings. This is Pine Grove News Live. And just give me 1 second. I am checking to see. And we are live on YouTube at PGN Live. So, whew. But you got to listen to the first song too. I like playing it a lot because it just says a lot. It's titled "You're Going to Be Okay." From Brian, Jen, Johnson, so on. That's all I get from the title. But it's a. I just love when these songs just speak to us like that. We're going to be okay. We are. So nothing to fear. Um, we're just here to keep you updated and keep you informed. You should be looking up anyway. We all should be looking up. We're all watchers. So you must have heard some of the crazy things that are going on out there in mainstream media, internet media. I barely even listen to mainstream media. I only do that when my wife listens to the news at night or the weather. Yeah, you got to hear some of that stuff before the weather. Yeah, this oh, you got this Harris, Democrat. You got the one that everyone's talking about, of course, is the Cortez one. I got a picture of her somewhere here. Yeah, this is frightening. Just a picture. She's talking about this Green New Deal, and in this picture from Now the End Begins, um, it's titled "The Democratic Socialist Alexandria Cortez says that fixing global warming requires massive government intervention." No kidding. But anyway, they got this picture of her, man, and it's perfect. It says a lot about her. A lot of people catch her in the bad light. Her eyes. One picture I just finished seeing, a YouTube clip. Her eyes were just. She looked like the ears of a bat. Her chin is pointing out, and her eyes are just about ready to pop out of her head. Really, I mean, they are bulging out, and her pupils are just like pointing, piercing, whatever darkness, whatever it is. But this one on this what I'm looking at right here, it's got her painted all green. She is green from her head to yeah, just about all green. But she reminds me, when it's done that way, of maybe some kind of ancient Egyptian goddess, that is plastered on a statue somewhere. She's got those eyes for it. Perfect. They're just dark and beaming. But the thing is, and everyone's talking about everyone, even Rush Limbaugh, Howie Carr, all those people out there on 1080 radio, AM radio. This she wants to get rid of airplanes. I mean, I wasn't even going to talk about this stuff. I'm so full of it today. But she, wants to get. That's part of her green plan. I think she just spurts this stuff in her imagination, in her young imagination, and just comes out with it. I believe she doesn't do a lot of fact checking. Taking away air travel in this high tech, society, this world, it's just impossible. As Rush Limbaugh said, it is impossible. Some people actually, how you say, entertain the idea of planes being gone. No fossil fuels in the next 10 years. Even though she claims, in 12 years that none of us will exist anyway. The world will end in 12 years. So she got this plan for a 10-year plan. In the meantime, it's just crazy. There's just no possible way a lot of these things can happen. We're too, within 10 years, no. To go completely green, it is possible, but it would cost a lot of jobs rather than make a lot of jobs. Yes, you'd open up the, solar and all those other green areas, but you'd be eliminating all the oil jobs, refineries and other places, and no airplanes again. I'm going to bring that back because it just doesn't make any sense. Well, neither do the Democrats, unfortunately. I mean, I hate politics because of this stuff, but it just never before been so in everyone's faces. These politics, they're everywhere. Can't get away from it. I mean, usually, after the election, maybe into the second year, everything dies down, and then, beginning the last year, it picks up again, and we start it all over again. I don't think this has ever died down. It has not died down at all. They're still continuing to go after Trump. There's all kinds of prophecies out there, so-called prophecies made years ago, that Trump Pence, we're going to be elected and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. But I don't know, man. Who elected these people? I don't know where she came from. Usually it tells us after her name, Democrat from somewhere. Congresswoman. I'm going to read down here a little bit. You'd figured I'd know after her being in the spotlight. But, I can't find it, and I really don't care. But in any case, I mean, I really have to look at the people who elected her. I mean, where does she come from? So, with that said, that hopefully, that's all I'm going to give it. Somewhere along the line, I'm going to give in because she's going to tick me off more, or just, it's so obvious. I just, and I'm going to talk about this other thing, this New York bill, okay, that passed, has created such sensation, even though there were other states prior to New York that had the same bill, and other ones that are, going through it right now. I believe it was New Jersey or Maryland, something like Virginia. That right after New York passed theirs, they did. But anyways, very controversial. Seems to be, yeah. And I'm going to show you, we're going to go listen to Tucker Carlson. He talks to get her name, but we will find her soon. Klein or Clean, something like that. She's a feminist, pro-abortion, all that stuff. And I'm going to listen to her reason her point out, Tucker, and doesn't give him a word edgewise. And we're going to see what she has to say about everything. We already know what Cortez has to say, and this, I actually prayed again, Lord, before I went on the news, and it had nothing to do with the news. I was just so disgusted with all this stuff that's going on. I asked the Lord, is this the delusion that you're sending everybody? Is it going, it's got to get worse. I mean, it feels like it's going to get worse. Can these people be awoken, in any way, sense, or form? It's just so dark and anyways, just crazy stuff. We are in the days of, I believe we are in the days of Noah. And at any time, I know Paul and them said, and they were talking about it, I was reading, what was it, Romans again, and then back into Hebrews. And he was talking about, the last days. the last times, and he was referring to his time. So I think the last days have been since, since Jesus left. Those are the last days, and we wait for him to come back. Since then, Paul and them thought that they were going to, Jesus was going to come back a second time. And actually, technically, I guess he did when he was resurrected. Wasn't that a second time? But I don't, that's not what is meant, though. Yes, he did come the first time in the flesh, and then was killed and resurrected. Was the resurrection the second time? I don't know. There's stupid things that I think about from time to time that, doesn't help anybody, including myself. So anyways, let's get into some other news and get away from this for a second. Talk about the weather and everything else that's breaking records again, year after year after year. New records of heat or cold. I mean, Cortez brings up and other proponents of the global warming trend or thing that we're going through, but what about the, polar vortex that everyone just went through for a week and a half? What about that? Is that included in the global warming? It didn't seem like it was pretty warm when it came. Quite the opposite. I think we're just heading into, more extremes. It's the days that we live in. More extremes in every facet of this earth and our everyday lives. And I believe that it's happening in spades so far. Big time. So this is from the Big Wobble 2019, and the records keep tumbling. High temperatures of 80 degrees Fahrenheit in parts of central Alabama in the winter, as the mercury hits 15 degrees above February average. We had one day that was 60 degrees here as well, right after we had the negative degree day. And it wasn't the only day. The past couple of days have just been like spring-like weather. And I have not experienced that in my time anyway. Maybe it's a 100-year cycle type thing, but I'm just saying I have not experienced, and I've been here in the New England area all my life. I'm 59 now, so, been through a few storms, a few weather cycles. And do not remember these or this many warm days. I mean, we've had mild winters, not these warm days that felt like spring. So anyway, there's your temperatures. 71 in Tuscaloosa. 67 Auburn. 74 in Montgomery. 74 in Greenville. So, there you go. Temperatures that are, and everywhere, breaking records. We're breaking records here for cold and warm, all in the same season. This one's from Strange Sounds, Atacama Desert, world's driest place. The world's driest place suffers massive floods. What a contradiction, huh? New waterfall created. 1 dead, 1,300 homeless. So this is just another proof of the weather chaos. And that's what we're going through. Not global warming. It's weather chaos. Didn't we have some politician come out, right? A couple of years back, 5 years or so back, and say within a certain amount of time, 500 days or whatever it was, we're going to have global chaos, weather chaos. Well, we have it. Anyway, parts of the Atacama Desert, the driest place on earth, flooded. Heavy showers on high altitudes in northern Chile have caused dry riverbeds to become rushing torrents of water. The flooding has left 1 dead and a child missing and over 1,200 homeless. You know, there may be a correlation as well, you know, with the earthquakes that they've been experiencing more too, and the 6 pointers. Of course, you know, tap on wood, you know, I don't remember hearing about too many 6 pointers, 6 plus, past few days anyway, maybe even a week. Could be mistaken, of course. And there's a video here that you can watch. I'll leave all the links on my YouTube channel or my website, 12pine.com. The video will be there as well. Everything will be uploaded to YouTube. And if YouTube is not, if they shut me off and things go wrong there, then it'll be out on VMO and BitChute, including my website, 12pine. Also from strange sounds, up to 300,000 cattle die in a historic flooding in Townsville and western Queensland, Australia. Okay, so after thousands of cows and chickens died in Uruguay and Argentina due to extreme heat, 300,000 cattle have died during the unprecedented floods that engulfed Townsville and the western region of Queensland. Geysers have been confronted with, or grazers, I'm sorry, have been confronted with scenes described as by one mayor as hell, as it became clear up to 300,000 cattle had died in the floods. Yeah. Now you know, there's always a story for this almost every day. Somewhere, you know, flooding. And it came to mind, you know, about this flooding in Days of Noah when I watched, I think he's called Watchmen, just Watchmen or something like that. Watchmen 7. He does a very good videos, and he mainly sticks to Matthew 24 and, you know, where Jesus told us the signs and what to watch for. Okay, and he also mentioned that you know, things would be like the days of Noah. And then he started mentioning the floods. Now, yes, the rain did come. Okay, so I believe the rain came, and there probably were floods. You know, before the actual ark actually, you know, was picked up and carried away. I'm sure there were floods in other places, and this well could be another sign. Obviously it's got to be floods. I mean, we talk about floods all the time. Yeah, sorry, really dry mouth today. Whoa. Oh. Open the water, huh? Man. Down really quick. Anyway, let's, you know, that's green. Over at Natural News, yeah, talking about her again. Green New Deal. Democrats call for eliminating the entire air travel industry, grounding all airplanes to save the planet. Just remember, folks, I don't know if they're that concerned about saving the planet. You know, according to Elon Musk, I mean, they must get to Mars. They haven't gotten there already. If they haven't already found a way past the Van Allen belt. Exactly where that is, I do not know. I think it's approximately 300 miles above the atmosphere, something like that, or up to 300 miles from the ground. I really don't know. It's 300 miles up. They can't go past it, supposedly, because of this radiation belt. That's what the Van Allen belt is. And, you know, I guess Mr. Trump is not informed, because he did, you know, at his State of the Union address speech, did mention, you know, the heroes that came and, you know, and went, including the ones that went to the moon. Glenn, you know, that was the other thing. What's his name? Glenn. He was there at the State of the Union address, and the president called him out. Forget his name. He supposedly was the one that, you know, did that giant leap for mankind, right? I thought that he went to Antarctica. Remember when all the dignitaries and presidents and whatever were going to Antarctica? You remember that? And then next thing you know, this Glenn, this astronaut, and John Kerry went to New Zealand. I guess that's a waypoint. And they had a huge earthquake when they were both there. But I heard, and there was tweets from Glenn, supposedly on his deathbed in New Zealand, that he was talking about what he saw in Antarctica, or who he met. Supposedly, the guardians of, well, that's what they were called anyway. Guardians of what, I really don't know. Everybody, there's many groups out there that talk about supposed alien beings, that extraterrestrials, a couple races of them that, I don't know. I don't know what they do. One watch us, the other ones, try to get involved. I think it's just ridiculous because I don't think, according to the Bible, there isn't. It's just that I believe that they're fallen angels disguising themselves as these particular group of aliens. And the reason why we should be watching for an alien deception, because everyone's waiting for a deception. Okay, how are we going to know if it's deceptive? I have no clue. I believe that the remnant, the saints, will not be deceived. The rest of the people will. So if you can't see it, then you're not deceived. Anyway, I don't know, something like that. But in any case, I do not believe in aliens anymore. I do not believe in UFOs, though it was part of my childhood, reading science fiction and dreaming of going to the stars and everything. All the Star Treks, all the runoffs from that, I've watched them all. But today, I do not believe in any of it. If any of it is true, it's only true because the fallen angels, 200 of them, came here, and you know about that in Genesis 6. Okay, had relations with the women of Earth. And there are out of the 200, there are only a few that were actually put in chains and imprisoned. The rest of them get to run around in their disembodiments. The swine going over the cliff. They're demons. That's what they're called. Disembodied souls of the Nephilim, of the fallen angels, offspring. So anyways, don't be deceived with that stuff. A lot of people, still look to those stars like that. But, and what's going to happen if I see a spaceship, coming over my house and landing in the neighbor's yard? Well, I'll probably be doing maybe a little bit like I'm doing now, snickering a little bit, saying, what is going on? I will have to put all my trust, excuse me, in the Lord at that time. Give me strength for me, have discernment, help me to understand, let the Holy Spirit speak. I am going to play dumb. I'm going to be quiet. Yeah, you never know. They'll probably go after the ones who don't, who believe like I do and try to go after us the most. I believe that, if, depend on your faith, you can believe that they cannot touch you. You're covered under the blood of Jesus Christ. And they are not allowed to. So, that's another thing we could talk about because, kind of in a battle like that, thinking that somebody else's or some demonic force is attacking me or Satan's putting some words into my head. when all along it may be just me putting those words into my head. But you got to take captive those thoughts and get rid of them as they come, and that's what I got to do. Now, I don't know how deep, these thoughts go. Been around for a long time, and some of them, I don't particularly, well, just about all of them that are, of my youth are not worth replaying. So, in any case, so I just, take captive and I release them. That's about all we can do. I do not believe that Satan has permission, for me anyway, with me. There are others who may let them in, who open doors. I'm not going to open any more doors. At least I'm going to shut it right away once I realize that could be another rabbit hole. But anyway, all right, let's go on. Way off subject. Yeah, so, all right, let's get into this then. I'll bring up that clip from Tucker and this lady. Her name is Monica Klein. But this headline right here from National News, okay? Do baby murdering abortionists in New York get to choose how to execute the live birth infants, whether by knife, lethal injection, electric chair, or hanging? And, the picture there on the front page is of a man being sat in an electric chair, being strapped down because, after all, yeah, some states, we kill prisoners. We kill murderers. And so let's go into this debate. Let's talk. I'm going to run this little video here. I think it's about 3 minutes. And this is with Tucker Carlson from Fox News and Monica Klein. Oh, and there's something missing here. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, where'd it go? Well, I have to go get this for a second. Excuse me. I have to go get this. I don't know why it didn't download before. It didn't work. But here it is. It's the copyright protection thing. Called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under Section 17 U.S.C. 107. I had to play that. I don't think Tucker would actually come after court and claim copyrights, but here we go. Virginia governor pushes proposal that allows termination up until birth. Virginia. Here we go.
Monica Klein is a founding partner at Seneca Strategy. She joins us today. Monica, thanks a lot for coming on.
Yeah.
I'm sure you describe yourself as pro-choice. I bet a lot of people watching right now think of themselves as pro-choice. So I'm not attacking you for that, but I wonder what you think of what Dr. Northam, the governor of Virginia, just said, that when a child, he described the child as an infant, is born, there's a point where the mother and the physician can decide whether to kill the infant or not. What do you think of that?
Look, Tucker, I understand that you want to go back to a time where Roe v. Wade was illegal, where women were having back alley abortions, and they were using coat hangers to have abortions, which is actually what's barbaric.
I'm giving you time to make a real argument. I'm not arguing for the repeal of Roe v. Wade. I'm a very straightforward person.
That is what you're essentially saying.
Actually, no, that's not what I'm arguing.
Not what he's arguing.
Please don't be tiresome. The governor of Virginia, who's a rising star in the Democratic Party, just said this. There's pending legislation that mirrors it, and I'm asking you what you think of it. That's it. I'm not here to debate Roe v. Wade.
I think that right now, reproductive health care is under attack by the Republican Party. 72% of Americans support the right to choose, and yet we have Trump and we have sexual predator Kavanaugh trying to repeal Roe v. Wade and trying to take away our control over our own bodies. This isn't about babies. This isn't about health care. This is about you attempting to control women's bodies.
Okay, please don't be a robot. Monica, you're smarter than that. This is the governor of Virginia just saying this. I just want to know what you think of it. Is that okay? Does that bother you? It's a sincere question. It just happened.
Okay, okay. It bothers me that you are attempting to control women's bodies. That's what you're doing. You are. The Republican Party right now is working overtime to repeal Roe v. Wade and to take away choice in every single state.
I wonder if you think you're convincing anybody, or if your unwillingness to address what just happened today on tape that we just played is a sign that you can't defend this. And if you can't defend it, I wonder why that is. Have you paused to ask yourself, as an American, as a person, what do I, as a woman, what do I think of that?
As a woman, what do I think of it? Have you asked yourself why you spend so much time talking about this rather than thinking about why your party is trying to repeal Roe v. Wade and control women's bodies? Right now, there are 7 states where there's only 1 abortion clinic, okay? There are 4 states with trigger bans where we would, if Roe v. Wade is repealed, women cannot get reproductive health care. This is about a woman's right to choose, and you as a man should not have a single say in that.
Wow. Do you think that you're making a case that most people agree with, that it's okay to abort a child in the 3rd trimester
Tucker,
for
you
no...
can keep trying to put words in my mouth and keep trying to say that the Democratic Party is hurting children. But your party is the one that is tearing families apart at the border and allowing children to die in federal custody. So whose party is actually harming children?
Wow. Let me just ask you one quick question. I mean, this is obviously a pointless conversation, and I think less of you after, I have to say. But it's an honest question. Have you thought about it? Do you have a real answer to what the governor of Virginia said, or are you going to throw yet another talking point at me? I mean, have you actually thought about it? Will you answer that question at all?
I have thought about it, and I am telling you that your party is attempting to change the conversation about Roe v. Wade and take control of women's bodies. I'm sorry that as a man, what you're focused on is controlling women's bodies, but we will not allow you to do that.
This is a child who's been born. This is not a woman's body. This is an independent person.
It just confuses me why you pretend that you have concerns over children when you're completely fine with ICE tearing families apart and children dying in federal custody.
Monica, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so there you have it, and it just irritates me to no end that she constantly dodges the question and just continually says that it's all about men and or Republicans controlling her body or women's bodies. Okay, there is no mention from her about the child that is alive in her who is not, well, it's part of her, but it is a separate being, a living being that she is feeding and nourishing for whatever, however long it takes, 9 months plus, whatever. She is responsible for that baby, that life. And she keeps talking about men trying to control what she can do with her body. That's all that she's concerned about. She won't answer the question of whether she thinks it's right or not to kill an infant, even on the day that it's born, are able to kill these children. And this smug little person, delusional, of course, obviously delusional, or so self-absorbed in this wrong direction that she's going, just like Cortez. They're on they have other agendas, and it has nothing to do with anybody else except themselves. I mean, all she wants to do is have men not control her body or have any say in it whatsoever. And I agree with that. No man should have any right to tell a woman what she can or can't do with her body. But she's got another body inside there. And I think that we can protect that baby. And we should be protecting that baby. That baby, yes, is a part of her, but it's also separate. It's also another living being. And she dodges the question all the way through it and just thinks that Tucker is attacking her and wants to control her body. And that's it. And she comes up with the reason, because there was one child, and where did I find that? One child who did die in ICE custody. They go on to talk. I saw the video about the child dying, a young girl. She went into, I don't know, she had to be resuscitated twice. And then she was life-starved to a hospital where she passed away there. And I forget exactly what it was from. And it's a total different other subject about separating children from their parents temporarily in different housing. Totally different. But then again, and I planned that some kind of political thing here. I don't think so. It's just my opinion. Is that what politics is all about? Whose opinion is better than whose opinion? I don't know. Everything's just freaking crazy. To say it's all, and if you could see her face, man, she's just smiling, smirking, dodging the question of what she thinks about killing a baby, up until it's born. We all know that, and I should have got those freaking scriptures. The Bible does say that God's, he knows us. He's known us since the embryo. He creates us. He makes us who we are in our mother's belly. We are recognized as embryos in the body. This is a touchy subject, and I'm getting all, a little festered here. And this woman, I got to change the menu. Can't look at her anymore. Some bad thoughts, and I'll have to go and pray about that. Yeah, it's going to be tough, everyone, but we just need to pray more about it. The more I come across this stuff, the more I pray for it. I'm constantly in prayer, believe me, and it helps. So I suggest that everyone, that is the answer. Things start getting rough for you, just go pray. Pray until it doesn't hurt anymore. I don't care how long it takes. Hours, days. You need to give it to the Lord. He said that he'll not give you more than you can handle. He certainly has not. Sometimes seems like it is, but no, not yet. So, okay, I'm just going to drop in a few more headlines here. I wanted to kind of save that towards the end, but it doesn't matter. Had to be said. This is from the Watchers, the weekly volcanic activity report from January 30th to February 5th. I believe they said that there was 4 new volcanoes. Yes, new activity unrest was reported for 4 volcanoes. And during the same period, ongoing activity was reported for 10 volcanoes. So, my question still goes out there, and I thank the Lord for whatever he's doing to prevent our skies, besides the chemtrails, blocking out the sun. I mean, all this ash, 10 volcanoes. I mean, I've talked about it before. Remember that one? Way back in the 1800s that blew up. Forget the name of it at the moment, and I do that. But anyways, it stopped the growing season, created a lot of havoc, blocked the sun out, harvest, people went hungry. Where is all this ash? I mean, 10 of them are going now, and 4 new or renewed unrest. Israel discovers new Iranian precision missile factory in Syria. And folks, this is, a match that could be lit at any second. You want to know why? Syria has been right along since, the Syrian war, been going into Syria to attack Iranian targets, because obviously the Iranians are in there under the cover of this war to help Syria to actually, build things up like this missile factory. Israel blew up one right next door to it. So there were the Syrians and who was else in there? Hamas and others that have gone and rebuilt this missile factory. And so now the problem is that Syria has warned Israel, Iran has warned Israel that it will not take any more attacks lightly, and that Syria says they are not allowed to go in there and attack Iranian targets, or Syria will get involved. So now Israel's got to make a decision. And I know there's only one, and this is the problem. There's going to be a war. It's just a matter of who starts it when and how it escalates. Because me, if I was Israel, I still cannot let Iranian missile manufacturing be in there in Syria, right around where we are. Okay, too close. Too close. So you have to go in and destroy the factory. Yeah, you do. Why don't they build it in their own country? Well, you know there's only reason for that. So they want to use it against Israel. And so that match, you know, has gotten very close to being lit. Any day now. Got to watch for this. What is Israel going to do? I have to watch them. Anytime. So, you know, this is the week, okay? And now they're going to start coming out with this. And it may be true. I don't know. I have not really fact-checked it. I just picked it up mainly because now you're going to start seeing this stuff, okay? A pipeline of undocumented immigrants reportedly helped build and maintain Trump's New Jersey golf course. So this article says. And of course, it's from, you know, Washington Post, which has been reported as lying before, as well as the New York Times. And I'm about this week. But anyway, said that there were, I think they're just doing this to, you know, make the point that, you know, his wall and all this to make us safer is just, you know, posturing or whatever, because he's already had, I mean, they're going to use his story for some reason. For something. Democrats are, you know, they're desperate now. You know, they're the ones that are holding everything up. What do we got? 10, we got 7 days, you know, and so far, you know, from what I hear, Pelosi is not going to budge and is not going to go in there and deal, you know. There's been talk of it, but she has not gone in there, and you got 7 days left. And if that government shuts down again, well, that is not looking good either. So they're going to try and blame Trump or put Trump in there as a liar or whatever. So you know, there's a lot of people, a lot of politicians who have illegals working in their houses as maids and other things like that, housekeepers, babysitters, nannies, gardeners, you know. Yeah, you think they're going to spend a lot of money, you know, for, oh, I can't stand politics. Back and forth lying and cheating and stealing. I thought this was a pretty good tape over here at WND. Whitaker to Nadler. Your 5 minutes are up. Yep. So there's a video down there. It's very short. I will play it. Whitaker, you know, told him that he would volunteer to come and speak there and answer some questions as long as they did it in 5-minute segments. And yes, he was probably being funny about it, but I thought it was perfect. There you go. It's only like 39 seconds.
Have you ever been asked to approve any request or action to be taken by the special counsel?
Mr. Chairman, I see that your 5 minutes is up, and so I'm here voluntarily. We have agreed to 5-minute rounds, and
the committee.
I think that's a fine place to end the 5-minute rule.
The committee will end. Will come to order. I will point out that we didn't enforce the 5-minute rule on acting Attorney General Whitaker. We will.
I understand, Mr. Chairman. I was just saying there might be a good breaking point at that point for you.
No.
I don't know what happened after that, but you know, that was all right. I liked it. Yeah. And so here we go, folks. I just want to give this to you too. This is from stop moving around. End time headlines. A NASA probe. Now they've talked about this before, and I think the Chinese have actually already done that, right? No, not the Chinese, the Japanese. They've actually sent a, I don't know what do you call it, ship, probe, whatever, to an asteroid, supposedly. Landed on it, took a sample, and flew it back, or on its way back, or something like that. They've already done that, they said. And yes, ships can fly in and out of the Van Allen belt, supposedly. And you remember that little ship? That little looks like a little miniature, you know, what do you call them? Space shuttle. Looks like a little miniature space shuttle. And every time you see it in pictures, you got men in suits, radiational or biological suits, walking around this miniature shuttle. It's, you know, it's got a secret mission. We don't know what it is, but every time it comes back, they got to check it out in suits. So it just, you know, leads me to think all these other probes, ships, whatever else we send out there, satellites, normally when they come back, they burn up, right? And so we don't have to worry about all this radiation that's, you know, all around it, let alone the some of these satellites, you know, have miniature nuclear power. Why they crashed that one into Saturn. You know, this supposedly gaseous giant, you know, that they just flew in there. Haven't heard from it again. So NASA probe to smash into an asteroid and knock it out of orbit is the first ever planetary defense system test. Does that sound ominous or what? I mean, what happens if they miss? What happens if they hit it at the wrong point and it deflects somewhere else? What happens if you happen to split it into two and maybe the two pieces will come and hit Earth after all? So much can go wrong here. Really? No problem. We're going to fly a probe at, 2 million miles an hour into some asteroid to knock it out of orbit. Now they're just talking about knocking it out of orbit. It's not saying anything about the probe is going to smash into this asteroid. So this asteroid's got to be big enough to where this probe is going to be obliterated, and move this rock out of the way. So we got to watch for that too. There are signs in Revelation about these fiery beasts coming down. They talk about stars coming down like figs off a tree. In case. Yeah, nothing can go wrong there, right? We're going to deliberately crash into this planetary... Anyway, don't we have one already in Siberia? Planetary defense system? Has it ever been tested? How do you know that Tukunsta incident in Siberia wasn't the result of that? Maybe some asteroid or meteorite came close enough to where this system activated itself, shot this thing up, but the result, was what happened there. All those trees in the forest were knocked down. But it didn't hurt the earth except for a couple of trees. They'll grow back, right? Something to think about. And this is very interesting, also from End Time Headlines. Mystery booming sounds shake houses and let's see, shake houses and terrify residents across America after flashes of light spotted leaving, and experts are baffled. So these things, it goes back to, let's see, January 31st. They got two on the West Coast, okay, that don't have dates on them. One in Tucson, Arizona, on the border there, Mexico. And they also have one in Oregon town, Lakeview. I don't know if that's California. It's right in a 3-point line there between Oregon, California, looks like Nevada. But no dates on them. But these ones it's just odd. You know, most of these are on the East Coast. Two from January 31st. One in North Carolina. The other one in Tennessee, Bradley, McKinn, and Polk counties. And then you have all the way up here on the second, all the way up there and here in my, it's pointed in Connecticut, but it says Rhode Island. On the 2nd of February, Rhode Island, Cranston, and Johnston. Now, supposedly, you know, flashes of light and booming sounds. And so the 3rd February, you know, a little further down the East Coast, heading south, Park Slope, Brooklyn. Okay, and the 4th, you got one all the way down in Louisiana. Okay, River Ridge, Louisiana. And on the 5th, back up to the Middle East, or to the East Coast, just below the February 3rd one. February 5th, it was in Philadelphia. So, still, nobody knows. But just an idea. Somebody once said, here's actually two, okay? Somebody said once that with all these underground tunnels and bunkers that are all over the United States and in Mexico and in Canada that we built, military and whatever, private contractors, maybe somewhere along the line they were, releasing air or something from underground, because they have to do that every once in a while. They have to release, I guess, CO2 or whatever, byproducts they get from people. And they had to release that, open in these baffles, like, these big baffles, and that will probably create a boom. These things are big enough to create a boom. I can't account for the lights. I don't know if these lights were seen all across there. But in any case, you got these huge drilling machines that have been seen next to Walmarts. And I've seen them come in and out of tunnels, breaking the outer surface, breaking through, And a lot of these things you can hear at night, because it's just the way... I don't know, it's kind of like the way you listen to a radio. I mean, you'll hear better at night for some reason, because of the longer distance that the frequencies can go at night rather than during the day. During the day, there's just a lot of... I can't explain it good enough, but yeah, it's either these things or it's tunnel digging, or something like that. There's a lot of things going on now all around us that I'm sure is making, last preparations or continued preparations for these tunnels to be occupied, these underground cities, these highways that go underneath us. I'm pretty sure that, the Bible doesn't say that the underground or under the earth is actually these tunnels, but it is mentioned, those people on the earth and under the earth. In any case, mystery booms and shakings, more. Yeah, there was a vote in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court blocks restrictive Louisiana abortion law by a 5-4 vote as Roberts joins liberals. I don't know exactly what's going on there, but I'll leave the article here. You can read it for yourselves. Just said that they temporarily blocked a Louisiana abortion regulation that was expected to close all but one or two of the abortion clinics in the state. So they remain open. Okay, they blocked it for now. So there you go. And this is pretty disturbing, but nothing we haven't seen, less of this guy, this Pope Francis. And let's see, 10-minute video here. Somebody gave this to me. So I have not heard from Sling and Stone before on YouTube, but did listen to a few minutes of the video. Pope Francis signs a peace declaration on human fraternity with Grand Imam. This one world religion, okay, that this Pope and these Imam, whatever, are trying to create. It's not going to work for me and my other fellow Christians, believers. Yeah, we're not going to fall for this. This is where they're going to separate us. And they'll come out with this new world. I don't think that the New World Order is done yet. I don't think that they're done trying to create that yet. There's got to be a disaster in this country of such a big, of biblical proportions to stop the and blow up this economic system. Big enough for them to create this one world government, one world system, this beast system. Some people say that we already have it, but show me. We're darn close to a cashless society. I don't know too many people who carry cash around. No, I do. Or somewhere where I know where it is. I usually have a couple dollars on me. But that's when I'm working. But anyways, that's your Pope, okay, trying to make all this happen. Yeah, and this is nothing. I was looking for something here. So that's about it, folks. I mean, there's this, this Hannity from Fox News. I mean, I believe Fox News is still, in most parts, scripted by the elite. And OAN, I don't know about them either anymore. Seem kind of scripted, and I don't know. I don't know anymore about them. I would like to have, somebody other than Fox and CNN. I listened to a few clips anyway of CNN. Some lady there that was trying to stick up for CNN, and there are people watching. Yeah, we have good reviews, and she's just not a good liar, But in any case, I mean, it's not that I've actually seen the polls either. People have told me, so I believe it because they told me. So to go looking for myself and seeing what those ratings are, and they could be, fixed as well too. We all just have to use our own discernment in everything, seek the truth in everything. Sometimes you just know when something's not right or something is right. In any case, that's it, folks. Nothing big, spectacular, unless you want to, call the continuation of the Pope trying to create a one-world religion, and the Democrats continuing to try to make the one-world government, because that's what Cortez and Harris and most of the Democrats, including Pelosi, who wore her. You see, they were talking about her little necklace that she was wearing on the night of the address. It had something to do with some Roman staff, meaning that she was in control or in power with this staff. There's a video out there. Go look at it. I didn't think you'd be interested in it. I wasn't. doesn't mean that you weren't. But anyway, it's out there about her little necklace, her little thing that she was wearing. So with that, it's Friday. I mean, God bless everyone. Enjoy your Sabbath. Whenever you celebrate it. I need these 2 days off. Came very quick. Week flew by. I mean, just I think it's faster than ever went by before. And so, anyways, I hope to be out there somewhere over the weekend. I'm not going to make promises anymore. I did last week, and I didn't do it. And I felt guilty about it all week. And, you know, I was ticked off. You were probably ticked off. So I can't make the promises anymore. I'm just going to do what I can do, you know, when I do it. If you're signed up to the notifications or I send out an email or something, then I'll let you know. Other than that, I can't make the promises anymore. I apologize for not keeping them. That's why the Lord tells us not to. He doesn't want us to keep promises or make promises. Because he knows that most of us can't keep them. With that, anyway, have a good evening. Have a good weekend. You know, things go and keep normal. I will be back Monday. Hopefully I can be out there over the weekend. I am thinking about getting rid of Mixler. No, you know, nobody really shows up there over the weekend. Maybe once, one person, couple people. So I'm kind of weighing whether I need to pay for that for the year again or just do something else. So I got to start worrying about whether I am going to continue paying some things. You know, I got to continue to pay for my website, blah, 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 blah. I'm not asking for any donations or anything like that. Don't need them. You know, it's just a matter of attendance and wasting time. If nobody's going to be there, I could be doing something else. Things like that. That's all. You know, if it's important to you, let me know, and then maybe we'll go from there. So with that, everyone, keep your family close. You know, keep them close to your heart, close to your mind, close to the phone, close by. Things are changing rapidly, and we need to get prepared and need to know where our loved ones are. And keep those conditions, you know, keep that forgiving mentality and that unoffensive mentality. No need for that either. God bless everyone. Peace out.